Hey guys, welcome back to a new video. Today we're going to be looking at a range of cases for the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 3. So I've had my phone for it's probably over a month now, and I did want to put some kind of protection on it. So mobilefun.co.uk, which are a UK retailer that sell all sorts of things to do with mobiles in the name, have kindly sent out 4 cases for me to look at. So we've got the Aramid from Samsung and the flip cover with pen, which is one I really wanted specifically to look at. I've used the stylus with my Note 20 for the last few years, and I've really enjoyed having the option to use a stylus. So this little add-on was something I definitely wanted to check out. We've got the Spigen Galaxy Z Fold 3 Air Skin, and then also another case from Olixar, which is one they chucked in as a little bonus. So the first one I'm going to look at is the pen flip cover. Admittedly, I have opened this and I've been using this for a number of weeks because, as I said, the stylus one was one I was really keen on checking out. So I have used this, and you can see there is a little bit of wear on there, but I can give you some impressions on how I've found it for the last few weeks. So obviously the pen goes in a little slot like that, and then the idea is to fold your phone flat before clipping it in. It goes in really easily. Now, one thing I really like about this is, of course, you've got the protection for the hinge, but if you don't want to use the pen, you can just slide it out and then you get full protection of the side and a little bit less bulky in the pocket as well. Because I came from the Note 20, I was used to a wider phone, so that doesn't really bother me. I quite like the thickness with the pen attachment on there as well, especially when it's in your jeans. You know it's there, so something that doesn't really bother me. But if you're only going to be using it for going for meetings or something like that, and you're only going to need it for a few days a week, you can obviously slide it on or off depending on what you're doing. The pen does work straight out of the box as well. You don't need any batteries or to charge it or anything like that. It's just a passive pen, and it does have a sense of pressure as well, so you can do some lighter strokes and then you can really press down to get a thicker line at the end. Not quite to the extent of something like the Apple Pencil will do, or if you were to buy the version that you can recharge, but it's more than adequate for just taking quick notes and things like that. So you have got a bit of an overhang when you're using it, but when you folded it up, obviously it sits nice and flush. It also has the wake function when you open the case, so I found that I pull on the spine of the case, and it's just a nice, really quick way to just check your notifications on the home screen. Other things in the box, it does come with some spare styluses and a nib remover, so should you need to replace them or they get worn down, you have got another 3 in the box. So let's move on. Let's now look at the Aramid cover. So this is brand new to me. I haven't looked at this one yet, but this seems to be more like a carbon fiber skin, as it seems to be in two pieces as well, rather than one complete unit. So you actually have some installation instructions for this one, which is a little bit more complicated. So you've got something like release paper. It seems to be like a adhesive. Then we're going to put it on kind of like this and then down. It's quite difficult to explain. There are instructions and show pictures in the actual box and stuff, but so that's now flush. Let's give it a bit of a wipe. It sits very flat actually together. So then folding it and unfolding it matches up quite nicely. It feels very nice texture to it. I would say it's going to be more prone to fingerprints though, so if you are someone that finds your hands to get a bit more greasy, then this might be one thing to just mention. Protection wise, around the outside, minus the hinge, is very well covered. A little bit of a recess in the screen as well, so if you drop it face down, you are going to be a bit more protected than if it was flush against the case. All of your speaker grills and everything are allowed to function, and then the USB-C port nicely cut. I do like carbon themed stuff, so this does match what I'm into. Nice camera protection as well. It's raised higher than the actual lenses as well, so again, if you're going to drop it on flat ground, you're going to be protected with it. This one retails for £30, and I think that's not too bad. It's more on the pricey side, of course, not quite as expensive as the case for the stylus, which is £59.99, but it is a Samsung branded product, so it's going to be expensive. It does fit quite nicely though. I do find sometimes that the lint will get stuck around the screen protector on the front, so the fact that it covers over that is quite a nice little touch, but then you're going to get the lint around the edge of the screen. So there's pros and cons to each method, but it does feel quite nice. And let's move on and take a look at our next case. So next up, we'll look at the Spigen, German made, tried and tested. Been using Spigen cases since I think I started tech on the channel, like a long amount of time. So I have high hopes for this one. I've got a feeling it's going to be an application kind of job like the Samsung one though. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 strips on the front piece. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces on the back. I'm just going to clip it in like we have with the other ones because I want to take this off, but we can still have a little look at how it would fit. Okay, so bear in mind we've got all the tags hanging off and things like that, but the fit's very similar to the Samsung. It feels more plasticky than the soft touch on the Samsung case. You do have a little bit more texture on that one as well with the carbon finish, but this is a nice smooth soft feel. We don't have any spine protection with this case again, but all the ports are nicely accessible, and you can see all the speaker grills and things, obviously minus the plastic, are visible. Really, this camera bump seems a little bit more deep than the one on the Samsung. I think it might just be the way it's shaped, but it's certainly nice protective should you drop it camera side down. Likewise with the front, there's a nice bit of depth there as well, so should you drop it face down. A little bit of a different cutout on the top, got more of a notch rather than a sliver on the Aramid Galaxy case for the audio to go through. It's a shame you have to do all these adhesive strips though, because I know a lot of people do like to change cases depending on what they're up to. So having to go through an application process with all these adhesive strips each time seems a little bit of a pain. But that being said, it's called the Air Skin, and skins are generally something you need to apply to your phone, so we'll look at that nonetheless. And if you're the kind of person that's happy to apply the adhesive stuff, then crack on. So last but not least, the Olixar premium smartphone case. I've looked at a couple of their cases before years ago, and they were pretty good, so I do have expectations that this one will be good as well. It does have a little kind of preview thing you can put your finger in and give it a little finger. This is much like the other cases. We've got a little couple of panels to put on. There's no instructions or anything in this one, so it's just simply a case of snapping it on. And there's no adhesive strips as well, which I kind of like. It's quite a nice colour actually. It's not something I'd typically pick for myself, but as it was one they included and we're giving it a go, it actually looks quite nice. I might actually use this for a little while. So when you've got it out in the folded mode, there's no lip or anything, so that's something you need to bear in mind. You're not typically going to be using this when it's in an environment you'd likely to drop it though, so it doesn't really matter too much. It does feel a little bit more plasticky around the edges, and I don't know if you can tell on camera, but it seems like it's a very, very slight different black. I can notice it more at the top. This left hand part is slightly darker than the right. In terms of protection and things, the camera bump is very flush, so do be careful if you're using this on anything that could potentially scratch the lenses. And then the other side is far more drastic of a lip than the other cases we've looked at. I would like to see a little bit less of a lip on the front and a bit more on the back, personally. Comparing it to the Spigen, it's certainly pretty much flush, whereas the Spigen does give a nice good bump for protection. You can tell just by looking at it how deep that lip is on this Olixar case compared to the one on the Spigen. Now there is a more of a thin case. It's designed to be like that, so it's something to bear in mind, but I definitely would like to see some more protection around the camera lenses. So there we go guys, 4 different cases for the Samsung Z Fold 3. I'll leave the links to get these and also Z Fold 4 variants if I can find them in the description box below. If you've got any more questions or comments, then do leave them in the comments box. Big thank you to Mobile Fun for sending them out for me to check out. I'll leave a link for their website in the description box as well. If you enjoyed the video, then don't forget to subscribe and do the bell so you don't miss a future one. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all next time.